Hello and welcome to my video. My name is Priestess Vanessa and I'm a professional tantrika. I like to work with people to help you connect to yourself so you connect to others and life and all that deliciousness that a sacred sexuality and conscious, communication and all that sort of stuff can do for you, sort of thing. So it is about creating the life you require and desire, and what I call a bewitchful life. So anyway, now we've got that out of the way, let's get on to the topic. It's about exploring sexuality within a monogamous relationship. Now this video is specifically for those in a monogamous relationship looking to be a bit more fluid with that monogamy. I'm going to, in another video, do a purely monogamous relationship exploring sexuality with each other sort of stuff, but this one is aiming at people who are curious about polyamory. Now the previous video I explored the love concepts out there, all the different types of polyamory, all the different types of relationships you can have. Some are very monogamous, but it's also polyamorous and all this sort of stuff. So find out what works you want and what works for you and what you require and desire, and see how you can make that work for your current relationship or the relationship you're wanting if you're single. So anyway, previous video, link elsewhere, please go check it out. Previous other video, also I touched on boundaries and communication and stuff. All very much potent keys before you even get to the sex. Now we're getting to the sex. Oh yeah, now we're getting to the sex. All right, so you're in a you're looking to explore outside of just you and the other person. Okay, now for these purposes, I'm going to use my own life for this. If that's okay with you, I'm actually going to use myself as the case study in this way, because I regard myself as a serial solo polyamorous, and what that means is I like to have more than one relationship, which I do currently. And I, at the moment, have two relationships, beautiful men in my life, Mr. J and Mr. B. And basically, what a serial polyamorous is someone like me who likes to work on one relationship. So I am monogamous for a period. With that one person and make sure it's solid. It's solid. And then I go exploring for another person. So Mr. J, he was the first on the scene. Here's my relationship, solid. We're good. It's fucking good. I love it. It's its own relationship. I learn lots about myself and love spending time with him. He gives me stuff that I love and enjoy. Now Mr. B is the new one. Mr. B is on the scene, and he's what's called the new relationship energy right now. This is what happens with polyamory. You get the NRE and new relationship energy, and it's like, ooh, and you start to get a little frisky again. Anyway, so I'm wanting to spend time with Mr. B a little bit more at the moment, because I really want to establish that relationship. Doesn't mean Mr. J is getting neglected. We've established boundaries and everything in there, and this is what we're going to go into with this. All the shit you need. This is kind of polyamory basics 101 if you're ever going to do this sort of thing. So I'm going to talk about stuff that Mr. J and I did to make sure it's solid and we're good, and things I'm doing with Mr. B and all this sort of stuff, because they're both very different relationships and I cannot compare them. And that's going to be the first thing I'm going to mention here. When you start stepping outside of just you and the other person, and you really want to be fluid with the relationship and bring in another, even if it's just a one-off as a threesome or a foursome in a swingers club or something like that, you still need to be solid with the other person. You still need a lot of stuff. And the biggest thing you need to do for yourself, and this is why I work with individuals, it starts with self so much. You need to be good. You need to be good. If you come from a place, if you are coming from a place where you kind of feel like you're being forced into choosing or having these experiences of threesomes and foursomes and even polyamorous sort of aspects of sexuality, stop, please. I'm not kidding. Just don't. And call the other person on it, because I'm going to use a case study, not really a case study, this actually happened. I had a female client, and really we did not, the sessions with my female clients are allowed to be fluid. It's usually you're paying for my time, because there's so much we can do. So much we can do. And it could be just the fact that I need to hold space for you, which is what happened with this female. Initially, this female came to me thinking, oh, we're going to do something really naughty and dirty, and, and because her partner was forcing her, not really forcing her, well, okay, she was choosing to agree to this, to have a threesome experience. And then when she was with me, we end up in a professional session, and when she was within our house space for it, allowed her to get it out, she realised she's not ready. And I was telling her, you're not ready. So not ready. There was so much more that needed to happen between her and him, and especially for herself first and foremost, before she could. I would never recommend having a threesome relationship especially if it's male, female, female. If it's that, please don't. And even if it's male, male, female, regardless, bringing another person in, you've got to be solid in the first relationship, the primary one. You've got to be good. And you've got to be good with yourself. And what I mean by good with yourself is use confidence with yourself, and that you're good, you're okay, and self-love. It's such a term used so much, and people are like, whatevs. But it's crucial. It's fucking crucial if you're going to do this and involve other people in your relationship. You need to have very good self-love. You need to have very good self-love rituals, practices, processes, whatever. Whatever those are, you need to look after you, because you need to have your cup full. Because as soon as your cup is full and you're energetically and physically and stuff feeling good, guess what? It is easy to have the other person in there, because then it's not too complicated and everything. It's not going to be draining. It's actually going to be a really good experience. But if you're not looking after, if you are apologizing, if you're constantly doing whatever anyone else wants of you, fucking don't. Stop now. I swore because of a reason, because I do not want you exploring outside of a monogamous relationship if you're only doing this because your partner wants it. You really got to want it yourself. Really. So there's that. So once you, and if you are and you're like, yeah, I'm good, whatever you're going on about, that's someone else, that's not me, then okay, let's continue this conversation. All right, so the next thing you know, you need to have agreements. You need to have agreements, and you need to find out what the expectations are going to be. Expectations of the whole thing. Like, okay, we're going to do case study again, use myself. Okay, Mr. J and myself, we decided we're going to go to a swingers club. I actually had never been to a swingers club. I've had threesome experiences before, plenty of threesome experiences, but I actually had never been to a swingers club, so I haven't really had a foursome experience. So we definitely sat down, we had a talk, and this is where the communication and all that stuff before came into it. All in the other videos that I talked about, we had communication, we talked and stuff like that, and we agreed that wanted a bisexual female, but heterosexual male. Because Mr. J is very heterosexual. He's not interested in having any dicks near me. And then we also established that it's okay for me to be near the other man, and what I can and cannot do with that other man, and we'll feel and what he's feeling into, where we'll see he's okay with things and stuff like that, and how we will communicate with each other, especially in the moment if something's happening with either of us that's triggering us, To be honest, it would have been more for him than me, because I am good. I'm good with seeing my man do another one. Yeah. Okay, did I just say that? See what I mean? You've got to be good with yourself. You've got to be good. I'll explore the next video where it'll be exploring sexuality within a purely monogamous, idealized monogamy relationship. We'll go over a few things that you can use in this sort of situation, by the way. So, yeah, stay tuned for that video. But anyway, so yeah, we had that conversation, what I can and can't do, and how we're communicating with each other in the moment if something's going to trigger anyone, and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's a case of, it worked beautifully in the end. Just because of who we are, to be honest, to be really honest, I think it's because of who we are too. We kind of, it's just like perfect divine timing and everything. Like, we turned up at the Swingers Club on the right night, had the right couple, and the experience was just, it was great. It was great. There was just nothing wrong with for me, there was nothing wrong, and there was definitely nothing wrong for him. He loved it as well. We're all good. We're all good. It actually helped our relationship. It didn't hinder it at all. You know? So that's what I mean. If you're going to start exploring stuff, you really need to be vulnerable. The men watching this, you need to be able to hold space and do conscious listening for the women and really make them feel safe and held and seen and accepted and loved. Okay? And for the women, you need to be able to be in surrender a little. Allow your man to hold that space. And allow yourself to be vulnerable. And speak up. Speak up about everything. Speak up about everything. Do not hold back. If you feel like you have to hold back and you can't speak the truth and be in full vulnerability to your man, there's more to it, then you need to work on that. And don't involve a third person yet. Well, okay, so all right, you've done all that. You're good, your partner's good, you had these conversations and stuff where you're going, okay, Vanessa, fucking get to the sex. All right, we're getting to the sex now. All right, so there's a couple of options you can do. You can do what I said. You've got to figure out what you're doing. You're doing foursome, are you doing threesome? And if you're doing threesome, is it male, male, female? Is it female, female, male? You know, and how's that going to work? And how do you want to look like? Don't be too restrictive on this, by the way. When you have these conversations, you're just exploring it. You're just exploring it. And by the way, this could be just enough. You could actually not even actually want to go and do the polyamorous thing and actually have another person there. The talking about it and the exploring of it can be just enough. And that's okay. That is purely okay. That is fully okay. Okay? It's okay to fantasize and explore and pretend, yeah, you really want this. And it is another thing to actually take that next step and do it. And this is what we're talking about right now. Taking the actual next step and doing it. Because all that stuff I mentioned before, you can still do that in a monogamous relationship and not actually take the next step and just stay there. And have this pure, delicious, juicy fantasy of going that you will do it, but you'll never actually do it. It's okay. So this is now, you have to be good that you really do want to do the next step. Okay. Next step. Now, I am coming from the fact that I live here on the Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. Okay, so there's going to be different laws and stuff in regards to sex workers if you're watching this anywhere else in the world. So you'll have to kind of adapt this to your own place. Or you can come to the Gold Coast or you can come to Australia where it is perfectly legal to use a sex worker. And we've got plenty of brothels, we've got plenty of independent sex workers, we've got out-call, we've got in-call, we've got all of it, you know. It's great, okay, because yes, I do know sex workers because my history is in my 20s, in my mid to late 20s and a little bit of early 30s, I was a stripper. So I definitely kept in contact with a few of my friends, and they've become escorts or sex workers and stuff like that. But also, stripping in itself is actually sex work. Those strippers who don't think they're sex workers, I get that. I was one of them. Yeah, they were actually sex workers. So anyway, you can explore. So this is the thing. Oh my God, so much. Okay. Ooh, yeah. This is my area. So you can explore in a couple of ways. You can go to a strip club. Go to a strip club, get a stripper, see how it feels to see your man with the stripper, see how it feels for you to be with the stripper, and see how the man feels seeing you with the stripper. That's a very, very safe way of exploring. Here on the Gold Coast, it's actually legal for you to touch the stripper and the stripper to touch you. And it's no genital touching and no genital to genital contact. So there's a lot of boundaries already established just by the laws. And so there's a lot of safety for that if you want to explore without having to actually, really like surf, if you know what I mean. So there's that. You can go to a strip club, get a stripper. And if you do, please, okay, I'm going to say a few things. As a former stripper, as a retired stripper, if you're a female and you're going to the club as a couple, you need to make sure the club knows and all the strippers, by your actions, you want to be there. And the bestest and fastest way you can do that as a female in a strip club with your man is to tip girls on stage or buy them drinks. Go up to the bar and buy them a drink, or if you see a girl that tickles your fancy, for the female to go up to the girl and say, can I buy you a drink, or what have you? Pardon me, here. Can I buy you a drink? Or if the lady's on stage, if the stripper's on stage, definitely tip her. Give her a tip on stage. Go up, give her a tip, and walk away. Okay, and depending on the club and where you're at, you can go get a tip and get some action, or give her a tip and say, come see us later. Come see me later. I would love you to have a lap dance with us. Or you go give her a tip, walk away, because some places, all sorts of laws. I mean, every club has their way of working things. They will say that. So strip clubs, definitely highly recommend them as a way to explore this, okay? Pardon me, talking for a while. Another way to explore and using this is porn. Now, some people may poo-poo porn and say, but how do you feel watching porn with your partner? How do you feel like especially what I call solo porn, where it's just the female, doing whatever to herself. How do you feel being there with your partner and him watching that and pretending that she's another person in the room? So that's it. So I don't poo-poo porn. It has its place. It has its you just got to be careful and that you don't use it too much and always rely on it. That's the thing here. Yeah. Then there's, of course, hiring an actual sex worker. You can go to a brothel, or you can actually hire a sex worker. There's a big reason why I personally am pushing the sex worker thing is because I know they're professionals, and this allows you to feel safe, especially women. If it's a female, male, or even if it's male, with the female, it just allows us women to feel safe and know. There's a saying as the sex workers have amongst themselves, okay? And we say, you know what they're paying for? They're paying for us to leave. I'm not kidding. That is ultimately what you're paying for the experience, yeah, but you're ultimately also paying for the sex worker to go, thank you, goodbye, and leave. And there's no pressure. There's for anyone to do anything else outside of that little coaching experience. So you're paying the sex worker ultimately to leave and not ever be involved in your life ever, ever, ever again. Unless you pay them again to be part of your life again. But see, that's what I mean. This is the reason why I push this. It's because you go to a brothel, yeah, you turn up, choose someone, have your experience, and then basically leave. For an independent sex worker, what you're doing is hiring the lady to come to you or in call, or you're going to her as an out call. Out call is where she comes to you, in call is where you visit her. And basically you go to her and she comes to you, and then you have your experience, and then she leaves, and that's it. So it's safe. It has already automatic boundaries in it. There's nothing nasty or terrible about paying someone for a sexual service. Get that out of it. If you need to work on that, get in contact with me, because, hello, I'll help you work through that. I will help you work through the whole money, paying for sex thing, because if you can reframe that in your head, really reframe that, what's called change it around the story of that, and taking the shame and the taboo out of it, because I don't see it as shameful or taboo. I see it as a very vital part of society and a service. It's just a service, like lawn mowing to me. It's like hiring a lawnmower. It's like hiring a cleaner that came and cleaned my place. It's like hiring someone to walk my dog. It's just another service. Oh, it's like hiring a massager or masseuse, or it's like hiring any sort of service, you know? So I don't see it as shameful or taboo. So feel free to get in touch with me to have a session where I can help you reframe that. And we can talk, basically, walk you through how to do that. Okay, last but not least, if you're starting to want to bring a third person as a threesome, most likely into your monogamous relationship and exploring it that way, is go on Tinder or Her app, any of those sort of online dating apps, or even online websites. Here it's Adult Matchmaker and Red Hot Pie, and go. Or even if you're into a bit of you want to go down that path, you can do FetLife. That's a website as well, if you want to delve into the BDSM sort of stuff. There's ways. There's many ways. And then you can go to, like I did, you can go to a swingers club. Go to a swingers club. And the worst thing that can happen by going to a swingers club is that you go out, you won't really pick up anyone. Okay, fair enough, you paid $100 to get in. It's not cheap at all, people. And just have a nice night out with yourself. But this is the thing too, even if you're in a monogamous relationship, it could be really super awesome to go to the swingers club, have an agreement from the get-go that we're just going to pretend, and that ultimately you'll go get a room for yourself and have your own experience and don't have anyone else in there. And that's okay. And you can actually go to a swingers club like that and just hang out with you and your partner and just feel into it, the whole thing, and, the whole experience. And basically, because this is the thing about swingers clubs, they've got lots of bedrooms, and the rule is if the door's closed, you don't go in. So you can still have privacy. And basically you go in and you can have a lovely time with your partner, because they'll have pool tables, they'll have music, and they've got a bar and all this sort of stuff. And you might meet some lovely people, and if they go, would you be interested, you can decline and go, no, we're just here, we're just checking it out. I'm new, I'm feeling a little nervous, it's okay, we're not really wanting to do this right now. You can do that. You can totally go to a swingers club, pay you $100 or whatever it is to go in, hang out with your partner, and just end up being with your partner in that space and play around with it, with the fantasy of it. You can. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. It happens more than you think. So there's that. Or you could do the swingers club and actually find someone like Mr. J and I did. Sort of thing. And then, and that's pretty much what, if you're taking the next steps, those are the things to do, actually to do. This video's gone for a while. This was probably one of the longest ones in that, because there's a lot of steps in this one. It's quite a big one. So the next video is specifically things you can do, just you and your other partner, to explore sexuality within the relationship. That one might go for a little while too. So I'll just give you the heads up. So we'll, like anything else, like, subscribe, share. Oh yeah, share. And if you feel drawn to work with me in any capacity, get in touch with me on Pet Love Biz on all the socials. Pet Love Biz on all the socials. So Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Periscope. Yeah, you know, I'm Pet Love Biz on all of them. Okay, and so get in touch with me. Say you're looking to work with me, and yeah, we'll discuss from there, because I have a lot of different ways you can work with me. You can do it in person here on the Gold Coast, Queensland, or Australia, or you can do it, of course, online like this via Zoom, what I call Zoom. It's not a Skype thing, but we can do it online. But no, I do not currently have any workshops, or at this point in time, at the time I've done this video, no workshops, no online e-courses, all that sort of stuff, but I do have lots of content, as you can see, online here. Just stay tuned to my YouTube channel, or get in touch with me via my socials, because I'm always sharing stuff. Believe me, always. Share. So, beautiful person, I love you for watching this video all the way up to this point. Oh my God, congratulations! High five me. Leave me hanging. Yeah. So I love you. Thank you, and I'll talk soon. Hopefully, yeah. Next video. All right. Bye.